Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kindness Rising, your morning dose of hope, humanity, and heart, where we give you more high fives and less rage bait. Welcome to a very special episode, my first time streaming al fresca here at the lake. A beautiful backdrop behind me. Had a great night last night, but let's get right down into the topic. Communication is not simply about what we say. It's about what the other person hears. We send our message through intention, and they receive it through experience, emotion, fear, and history. And somewhere between those 2 points, the truth can get lost in translation. On Monday, I told you about the terrible joke I shared with my father when I was 12. Yesterday, we began looking for the light inside his response, and today we explore the gap between what he said and what I believed he meant. Good morning, everybody. This is Kindness Rising, your morning dose of hope, humanity, and heart, coming live today, live this morning from a gorgeous lake here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Excuse me. Just a beautiful day, and we are getting up and getting after it no matter where we are. This is week 2 of Without a Net. Speak truth with love. Today's lesson is translate the truth. So let's rise. Good morning, Sully. Good morning, Jess. It is absolutely gorgeous here. I'm already spritzing a little bit here. It is hot, hot, hot where we are. And so I'm going to do my show. I'm going to get to enjoy a little bit of, I'll be working, but I'll be out here, hopefully, enjoying some beautiful weather because it's cooler here than in town where I live. Absolutely. Jess, Sully, welcome in. Anybody else who's out there, please come join us. Say hello in the chat. This is Kindness Rising. Yes, absolutely. On the Mornings in the Lab Network. And we are going to get to all of our themes today. We're going to do a kindness spark. We'll talk more about communication. Of course, our kindness spotlight and more our who in the world today. It's going to be a challenging one. I put a little wrinkle in at the end. You're going to have a visual clue instead of a verbal clue. A visual clue coming up, your final clue in Who in the World today, a new feature. Let's see how it works. All right, let's get some tunes rolling, and we are going here. Is the music going to play? All right. Now, one of the concerns about streaming in a new location is everything going to work? So far, it seems like things are working. The sun, I was not expecting the sun to be so far off to the side there. Where is that? That's east, I guess. What? Yeah. Sun rises in the east, right? I don't know. I forget sometimes. Anyway, I didn't know that I was going to be so much in shade, but this is fun. It's fun for me. Here is the strange thing about communication, though. We're going to talk about it. Yeah. You don't understand a word? Eddie Talsvetska, you don't understand a word? Without a net of a studio, exactly. All right, I love that. I love that, Sully. All right, here's the strange thing about communication, of course. We don't hear those words in isolation. We hear them through everything we already believe about ourselves. If I am already worried that I'm not smart enough, a simple correction can sound like confirmation. If I already fear that I do not belong, a question about my work can sound like an invitation to leave. If I already believe people do not respect me, a delayed response can feel like rejection. The other person may be speaking about one moment, but we hear them delivering a verdict through our entire identity. And this happens in both directions. A leader says, I need you to revise this. What they mean is, this work just needs another pass. But the employee hears, you've just disappointed me. A spouse says, can you put your phone down? Oh, I know this one. Can you put your phone down? They mean, I miss you. But the other person hears, you don't do anything right. A friend might say, you seemed distant last night. They mean, are you okay? But you hear, you ruined the evening. This is why conversations become so difficult. We rarely responding only to the words and the situation in front of us. We're responding to the meaning that we've assigned to them. And once we believe we know, Once we believe we know what someone meant, we stop asking questions. We react to the translation as though it were the original message. But translations can be incomplete. They can miss the context, mistake one meaning for another. And sometimes when new information arrives, we have to return to the original words to translate them again. My story about my father is not finished, but today I want you to hear this. The words we hear are not always the message that was sent, and the words we speak are not always the message that arrives. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me here on Kindness Rising on a very special episode stream from the lake. Maybe this will become a regular thing. I certainly don't mind a night swim and a beautiful boat ride last night and sleeping in air conditioning, frankly, and just enjoying a night. So I hope this brings a little bit of joy to you too this morning, but let's get moving. Let's get into our Hi, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Hello, hello, hello. We are on location live. Not much action happening. It's pretty quiet. I love it. I love it. All right, here we go. First, nice seeing you, Mom. I see you right through the window. I agree, Big Daddy-O. Right after this, 2.5 miles around this lake behind me, I will be walking. I walk every day, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 miles a day, Big Daddy 66 ho. All right. Poconos are about an hour from where we are. Yep. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, I said I was going to do a Who in the World. All right. As those who come here regularly, see, I don't know where I am in space right now. As those who come here regularly know, we do a Who in the World every day. 3 clues throughout the episode to get you thinking about someone who's important, someone whose birthday is today. We're going to talk about it right now. Here we go. One of history's most influential artists. This person was the 9th child in his Dutch family. A Dutch influential artist with a big old family is our special person today. Let's keep rolling with our spotlight. All right. Every day on Kindness Rising, we get up and get after it, and we talk about good people doing good work. Today is no different. It never is different. Did it happen? Hey, there we go. Welcome to Kindness Rising. This is our Kindness Spotlight, where we highlight good people doing good work. And today's, oh boy, I'm all over the place. All right, never mind. Today's organization is the OpEd Project, and their mission is to change who writes history. That does not mean rewriting the past. It means recognizing that the ideas published, amplified, and preserved today help shape the world people inherit tomorrow. They work to elevate knowledgeable voices that have historically been underrepresented in public conversations. And what matters is because the loudest voice is not always the wisest voice. The most familiar perspective is not always the most complete one. The OpEd Project operates from a powerful belief the world becomes more intelligent when it becomes more inclusive, and the best ideas should have a chance to be heard regardless of where they come from. That's OpEd Project. Changing who speaks can change what the rest of us are finally able to see, and that is kindness through voice, making room for knowledge, making room for perspective, and making sure more people have the opportunity to write the story we all share. All right. How's it going out there? I hope the traffic going by isn't too distracting. Love it. All right. And we will continue. We'll continue with our what? Wait, that happened today? Yep. Every day we talk a little bit about something that happened in history, and today we are talking about July 15th, 1799, right at the end of the century. French soldiers working near an Egyptian town of Rashid, known to Europeans as Rosetta, discovered a broken stone built into the foundation of an old wall. And at first glance, it didn't look like an object that would transform our understanding of the ancient world. But the stone contained the same decree written in 3 different scripts: ancient Greek, Egyptian Demotic, and Egyptian hieroglyphs. At the time, scholars could only read ancient Greek, but the Egyptian hieroglyphs had remained largely undeciphered. They used the Greek to translate the Egyptian, and new writing, new ideas emerged. They didn't possess the key they needed to translate the Rosetta Stone, and that Greek text became the key. The process took years and involved the work of several scholars. The stone, of course, didn't create a message. The message on the stone is not the point. We could get into the history of King Ptolemy V, who wrote the stone and had it written in 3 languages. And what's on the stone is a bunch of decrees and information about how religious leaders will be treated and all kinds of stuff. That wasn't the point. It's interesting from a civilization point, but the point was they now had a way to translate. Absolutely. And that's why it fits today's lesson so perfectly. Sometimes the truth is right in front of us. The problem is that nobody has spoken, or that we do not understand the language. That happens between 2 people all the time. The Rosetta Stone reminds us that translation is more than replacing one word with another. It's translating context and pattern recognitions and patience and curiosity and the humility to admit, I can see these symbols, but I may not understand what they mean yet. Help me understand, what can we learn before assuming another person's message is meaningless or hostile or foolish? We might ask whether we have found the right key. What are they really trying to express? What experience shaped their language? And what might become visible if we slow down long enough to translate it properly? That happened today, July 15th, 1799, the discovery of the Rosetta Stone. All right. What we got going on? It's all Greek to you, Jess? Yeah, I hear you. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. See if this second clue helps you translate your Greek. Here we are, clue number 2 in our Who in the World? Remember our first clue, an influential Dutch artist from a big old family, 9 children. Their second clue, maybe, who's fascinated about light and shadow, how it could reveal emotion, character, age, and inner conflict. We know a Dutch artist who was heavily focused on shadows and darkness. So I think when you see our visual clue, you might be able to understand or know, if you don't know already. All right. Dump the weight that happened. All right. Beautiful day here at Quaker Lake, and the cars go traveling by. We are rolling here on Kindness Rising. We show up 7:30. I show up 7:30 a.m. Eastern, no matter where I am. You never know where I'll pop up from. Usually the studio, but today we're streaming al fresca. Yes, absolutely. And we're going to keep our conversation going. Our conversation about difficult conversations and about psychological safety and how teams can eliminate the barriers to vulnerability and to growth together so that every person can contribute to their maximum capability. And there's a book. It's a book called Difficult Conversation, written by a guy named Doug Stone, primary writer. He had secondaries too. And it's part of something called the Harvard Negotiation Project. And it begins with the simple idea that every difficult conversation is actually several conversations happening at once. There's the what happened conversation. What did each person see? Who said what? What caused the problem? There's the feelings conversation. What emotions were present, even if nobody is naming them? And then there's the identity conversation. What does this situation appear to say about me? Am I competent and am I a good person? Do I belong? The identity conversation is where feedback about a interaction can feel so enormous. Someone says the report contains errors. We say I'm incompetent. Someone says I felt ignored. We hear I'm a terrible leader. Someone says the joke didn't work. A 12-year-old hears you're not funny. The authors also challenge us to separate intention from impact. We know what we intended, but we experience only the impact of what other people did. That creates an unfair advantage for each of us. When I hurt you, I explain my intention. It's not what I meant. When you hurt me, I judge your action. You knew exactly what you were doing. We give ourselves context. We give other people a verdict. A healthier conversation makes room for both truths. I believe you did not intend to hurt me, and the impact still hurt. Neither truth cancels the other. Intent matters, impact matters too. And the goal is not to decide which person owns the single correct story, it's to understand how each person made meaning from what happened. Difficult conversations are rarely solved by repeating our own message more loudly. They improve when we become curious about the translation taking place on the other side, because the research tells us what's true, and Without a Net helps us put it to work. Did he love gardens? Nope. 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 Not a garden guy. He mostly painted people and dramatic situations happening with those people. He gave you an extra clue because this one might be a little harder than some of the others. I intentionally made it a little obscure. All right. We'll get to our third clue in just a minute, but first I've got to yak a little bit more about what my father communicated to me when I was 12 years old. I knew how his words affected me, but what he said and how they affected me and what he intended to, they were not the same thing. For a long time, only one side of that conversation was available to me, mine. From a 12-year-old's perspective, I brought him something vulnerable and he rejected it. End of story. But difficult conversations rarely contain only one story. It was my intention, my impact, your impact, the words spoken out loud, and the meaning silently attached to them. When we argue about which interpretation is truth, we usually get stuck. But when we become curious about how the other person created their meaning, something opens. Instead of saying, this is not what happened, we can say, tell me how you experienced it. Instead of you completely misunderstood me, we can try, I can see how my words led you there. Can I explain what I was trying to communicate? Instead of you're too sensitive, we can say, I did not intend that impact, but I want you to understand. That is translation, not surrender, not admitting motives you didn't have, not agreeing with every interpretation, because translation means accepting that successful communication requires more than releasing words into the air. Think about the phrase, I'm fine. Depending on the relationship, I'm fine can mean I'm genuinely fine, I'm not ready to talk, I'm furious, I'm overwhelmed, I need you to ask again or leave me alone. Same words, different messages for sure. Okay. All right, let's return to let's return to Scarlet Begonias. Once in a while, you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. The light may be hidden inside a message we translated incorrectly. It may be inside a sentence that touched an old insecurity. It may be inside feedback that was not expressed as clearly as it should have been. At 12, I heard my father telling me who I was. With time, I began to realize he may have been talking only about what I had done. That distinction matters. You're not your worst joke. You're not your weakest presentation, and you're not the mistake you made last Tuesday. You're a human being doing work that can be examined, questioned, revised, and improved. Psychological safety allows us to separate the person from the performance. It says the work is not ready yet, and you still belong here. This decision caused harm, and you are capable of repairing it. This joke bombed, and you may still have a voice worth developing. That is truth translated with love, clear enough to help and human enough to hear. That's our Without a Net for this morning. Absolutely. How many times do we do that, right? And after we seek answers a little bit, we find out, man, that's not really what the person intended. But they might be able to explain a little more. Absolutely. All right. It's getting a little trafficy. The people are waking up here on the lake, getting going with their days. And the sun is rising. The sweat is pouring off. That's okay. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It's going to be a beautiful day. Okay. Who wants the final clue? Are you ready for the clue? Let's do it. Here is our final clue. Clue number one of history's most influential artists. This person was the 9th child in his Dutch family. Clue. Where is it? Come on. Clue number 2, he was fascinated by the way light and shadow could reveal emotion, character, and inner conflict. And here we go. This is it. This is the one, the first ever visual clue from Kindness Rising. Do you recognize the work or the man in these photos? Pretty dark around the edges with some interesting light spots. Do we know these? These are very fascinating. Here comes a truck. Sorry, guys. Very fascinating use of light and the pictures that he's drew. Absolutely. And we can talk about each one of those. I actually did research on each one of those pieces because I was fascinated by them. Okay. That's your final clue. Anybody? No? That is Sullivan. Sully came in with the right answer. It is Rembrandt. That's a Rembrandt. Yep. Those guys with the crazy Dutch. Yep. Mom got Rembrandt. I knew you would. The guys with the crazy Dutch hats. I always associate Rembrandt with cigars, Dutch Master cigars. All right. Well, let's do the kindness compass, and then we can talk more about Rembrandt or whatever it is you guys are interested in talking about. The kindness compass, every day we move from thought, there's thought to action here on Kindness Rising, and today we're translating clearly. Today's kindness compass gives us 3 ways to reduce the distance between intention and impact. Number 1, pretty easy. Say what you mean. Do not make people just decode hints when clarity is available. Replace "you might want to look at this again" with something like, "the opening is strong, but the recommendation needed clearer evidence." Hear that? There's a difference. Instead of being vague. Anyone working with AI and doing prompts, you know that. We want to be specific. Specific. Absolutely. Number 2, check the translation. After an important conversation, ask yourself, ask the other person, what did you hear me say? Not as a test, as a check for understanding. You may discover that the message received is very different from the message you intended to say. I'm really big with, personally, with repeating things back to people. I think I heard you say this. Make sure I'm right. I do that all the time. Not a test, just a check for understanding. And last, number 3, distinguish the person from the performance. Feedback should describe the action, the decision, and the impact, not reduce someone to a label. You are careless, but 3 important details were missing from this report. Not you're careless, but 3 important details were missing from this report. People can improve their work without having their work placed on trial. Say what you mean, check the translation, and separate the person from the performance. That is today's kindness compass. All right. Thanks again for joining me here on the Mornings in the Lab Network. Kindness Rising coming to you live from the lake today. Special episode. We'll probably be back in the studio tomorrow, but today is today. So we're doing it. And yeah, our person was Rembrandt. Is Rembrandt. Was Rembrandt. Is. I don't know. Yep. Interesting photos of light if you look really closely. First of all, that first top left one with the 2 dudes kind of standing in the foreground, that one is called The Night Watch. It's probably his most famous work. If you look very closely into the details, especially in the background and where the light is, it's absolutely fascinating. But what's really impressive about this particular piece is the size. I don't know if you guys know this. It looks like a little tiny square on my screen. This thing is 12 feet by 14 feet. 12 feet by 14 feet. It's a little painting, little something I drew over the weekend. That's the fact about the Night Watch. It's huge, and it's in Amsterdam. I forget which museum is in Amsterdam. There's a Rembrandt. Oh, okay. Mic problem. Are you kidding me? When you go live, you never know what's going to happen. I hope you can hear me now. My mic unplugged with my fidgeting. Okay, that's Rembrandt, the Night Watch. And this one, the bottom right, which is actually a painting that he was commissioned to do. I was reading about this. This was during an autopsy. It's actually not an autopsy. It's actually an educational session. A doctor doing a dissection of a cadaver and learning about how cadavers were. First of all, only prisoners were cadavers. So this guy that's being cut up here committed some crimes. I actually found out it was robbery and rape that this guy was convicted of, who's dead there. And the other fascinating thing about it is you see the doctor pointing at the body parts there on the left arm, the left forearm. But back then, the doctor didn't do any of the cutting. They actually had a guy called the preparer or something like that who did the cutting. And then everybody gathered around while the doctor explained and educated people. So I thought that was interesting. And the upper right is Rembrandt's self-portrait. All right. That's enough of Rembrandt. A little art education. A little art education. I don't know. Why not? Why not? We all can learn from it. Rembrandt, beautiful, beautiful paintings. All right. Thanks, Jess. I enjoy the outside episode too. Learning as we go here about light and sound for sure. A little different. But I hope it was a fun little change for us as a team. Let's pull the thread together, pull it all together here as we end today's special live from the lake. And yeah, let's do that. All right, the kindness thread. This is the end, my only friend. Let's pull the thread together. On Monday, a 12-year-old heard rejection. On Tuesday, he looked again and found a possible lesson: know your audience. Today, we examined the translation that happened between those two moments. My father spoke about a joke. I heard a judgment about myself. That doesn't mean the words had no impact. They did. It does not mean the delivery was perfect. It was not. It means the meaning of a conversation can be larger and more complicated than the first version that we carry. And tomorrow we're going to continue with no more artificial harmony. Oof, how many of us have been in those situations? Oh, we're all just getting along. We're one big happy family. Yeah, because misunderstanding is not the only danger. Sometimes everyone understands exactly what needs to be said and nobody says it. We're going to explore deeper into Patrick Lencioni's fear of conflict and why healthy disagreement matters, and what happens when teens choose the appearance of peace over the courage of honesty. But for today, remember, your intention is not the entire conversation. Their reaction is not the entire conversation either. Slow down. Ask what the other person heard. Explain what you hope they would understand, and keep translating until you see one another clearly. Because kindness is not softness. Kindness is a strategy. And vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is a method. And psychological safety is not a poster on the wall. It's a daily practice. Once in a while, you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. I hope you're finding some light in this strange place we call Kindness Rising every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, here on the Mornings in the Lab Network. Now get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. And today is Wednesday, so don't forget, 8:30 a.m. Cheryl Raphael Whitaker. It starts with joy. She's going to be doing her joy dance with Atlas and Beatrice and the whole crew over there. Get on over there, Mornings in the Lab, and come on back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. You don't know where I'll be. Neither do I, except that I will be here on YouTube and LinkedIn. Until then, stay on count and stay kind.